have enemy ships in Sector 27.
It's a trap!
Bitcoin is above $7,500. My voice just broke. Let me re-record that. For the first time, we might actually close a daily candle above this resistance line. First time since November. Alts in response are feeling pretty good about that today. Why though? And is this a start of something greater?
What are we walking into? It's a trap. It's too late to go back. It's a trap. But we're never looking back. You're gonna be sorry.
While 5 to 10% pumps for an altcoin are usually not all that significant because they come and go, and generally speaking, the downward trend could still very much be intact despite a 10% pump on a day, this time might be kind of different. In order to understand why, though, we need to take a look at more of a macro view for alts. First of all, it might be worth understanding that for many traders, they might be looking at the fact that many coins, such as Ethereum, such as XRP, such as everything, are over 90% in the red from their all-time highs. Now, this is not to say that they're not still capable of falling 90% from where they're currently valued at, but the point is that eventually, when an asset is, say, Cardano, for example, 96, nearly 97% in the red from an all-time high, eventually those types of losses look less and less desirable to short. Now, of course, this downward trend started for alts in 2018, so let's have a look at some of them, how they've performed since then. This is Ethereum's 3-day chart priced against its Bitcoin pairing, and as we can see, there is a very macro level downward trend line, which has been pretty much resistance through all of 2018, all of 2019, despite Bitcoin's bull run during that time, and now is being tested. Better example of this though is XRP. Not the cleanest chart to chart this way. It would be better if I started from 2018, but just to give you that great grand picture, this downward trend has been very much into effect right up until recently. Plenty more such examples. Monero now, macro resistance from the beginning of 2018, now just peaking above it. Bitcoin Cash, possibly one of the cleanest examples of this. This started a little bit early, 2017, December, been in a downward trend ever since, now just getting up and over it. So, are altcoin holders, especially ones that bought recently, now about to drown in women like this guy?
I'm just a regular, everyday, normal motherfucker.
That probably wasn't my smoothest transition, but I try. Is it a trap, or is it a sign of the changing times? Well, there's two things I'd like to ask myself before I try and answer that question. Number one, total market capitalization. Is it growing? Is new money entering the space or not? That was one of the key indicators for a prolonged bull market in 2017. Can we expect it to happen again? Somewhat stable, actually not peaking, still at around 200 billion. Not bad, but also not great. So on to number two then, Bitcoin dominance. Are these gains for the alts coming because people are selling their Bitcoin for these alts? The answer looks to be yes, falling just about 2% over the last week. There is room for it to fall further. If we take a look at a little bit more of a macro picture, Bitcoin dominance has pretty strong historical support at around 66% rather than the dominance we are currently seeing at about 69%. So is this a trap? All of crypto is a trap. It depends on your perspective. It depends when you got in, when you got out. But while getting in and out of alts short term can definitely be quite profitable, I am not bullish on the long term unless some new money enters the space. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe that's a wrong assumption to have, but if the value proposition is just the fact that the charts look good and that's the main reason people are buying these coins, is that good enough?
Look at this graph.
For performance to continue because the charts look good? Maybe I'm stupid for thinking otherwise, but I would like more from this space. But Plus, Bitcoin is still going to be the all-important indicator for how the alts perform. We saw that in the second half of 2019 so well. Currently, Bitcoin is doing just about average looking at the daily RSI. It's doing fine, but it's certainly not trend-breaking stuff happening right now. We are touching the top of this green zone in this overall downward trend. This downward trend, this channel would not become invalidated or even start to become invalidated until we are well over $8,000. But that is totally possible. Su Zhu, a market analyst I generally respect the opinion of, has this to say. Bitcoin Tether premiums and price action show clear signs of accumulation and money flow back into risk. Would not surprise me to see over 9K before the end of January. Essentially what he is saying is that we're currently in an accumulation period which may very well soon be over. Here's hoping.
Opinions are beautiful. If everyone thought the same way, then the world would be boring. So opinions are wonderful, you know? But you're wrong and you're stupid.
Now on to the news generally. Just one piece of news for today. Something very, very sad. John McAfee reneges on his Bitcoin prediction. Eat my penis in 12 months? A ruse to onboard new users. It worked. I can't believe this. Like, I genuinely can't believe it. I don't think it did work, mate. I really don't think it did work. But props for trying, I guess. Anyway, is this a buy indicator now that John McAfee has capitulated, essentially? I don't know, but I do know that I certainly would feel better about taking a position on Bitcoin when I hear something like this rather than another $1 million per Bitcoin prediction. Let me know how you feel. That's been it for me today. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Now, imagine being an institution trying to disprove the potential for manipulation for Bitcoin. It's literally impossible. Well played, SEC. See what you did there.